Welcome to the Goth and the Sloth. I am your sloth, Matt.
And I'm Luna the Goth.
This is the podcast of two friends living a country apart and burning it down from both ends. We decided to take the first year of our podcast to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic, how it affects your lives, how it affects our lives, and, why it's just awful.
Mm-hmm.
So, how have you been?
Okay. You know,
Just you know.
surviving.
So,
Yeah.
is there any news in Luna's world this week?
Well, I did just get the second shot,
Woot woot.
so I am, as they say, fully vaccinated. Um, but I also got the second shot like 6 hours ago. So I'm just starting to notice some stuff. And not excited about the next couple days, but after that, I think I'll feel great and everything will be great.
Yeah, most people I've heard, yeah, it's like 1, maybe 2 days of feeling icky, and then you bounce back pretty quick. So,
Well, we gonna find out.
and then you're
What about,
T minus 14 days till you can be out and about and do whatever.
yeah, I mean, obviously, I'll still be wearing masks when I'm around unvaccinated people, but I
Yes.
can hang out with my vaccinated homies. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Nice.
Um, and let's see, is there anything else? Not really, other than like life goes on.
Yep.
Um, that thing, just just trying to make things happen, as in like finding a place to live and paying my bills, the usual.
I mean, you could just, you know, squat in someone's summer house that they're not using on the beach.
I could. That usually goes well for people with my skin color. Yep.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? I do want to share that I thought that my Thai basil seedlings were not going to happen because they're so finicky to start with. And I just looked over today and there's three of them that are sprouting little bitty boops out of the
Nice.
soil. So I'm excited about that. And my peas are going well as well. So pretty excited. I'm hoping my catnip will sprout soon, and my bell peppers, and then later this summer I'll plant my summer plants. So
Very cool.
yay, little plant babies.
One point at a house, I grew some catnip, and the cat just sat there all day eating it until she threw up, and then would just go back and eat more. So we had to start limiting.
Oh my god.
But that's all cat dependent. I'm sure if I did it now, my cat doesn't care anything about catnip. My current cat. So
Agreed. Yeah, Nisha doesn't really care about catnip unless it's fresh.
interesting.
So like I had a friend sent me some catnip for tea to make some tea, and the box smelled like the catnip, and she was all about that. But if you get the store-bought dried catnip stuff, any catnip toys, she don't really care.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe she's just a bougie cat, which
she
is
is.
very likely,
Yeah.
actually. What about you? What's going on in Matt's world?
So just last night, my band played a show, so I'm very tired today because I had to wake up and then go to work. So
Oh,
that's
ouch.
fun. But the show was pretty fun. Had some good times. A really awesome band closed out the show called Humanity. They have a cello player, and that was awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, very cool stuff there. What else is going on? Still working on my lunar lander. It's just about done for my Lego kit. So
Oh, yay.
that'll be done soon, and then I have to figure out where I'm going to put it. And yeah, that's kind of about it. Just the Yeah, living life and getting through it.
That's great. I'm glad you had a good show with the band.
Fun stuff.
It's always exciting.
Do you remember all the band members' names? Pop quiz,
Oh
hot shot.
boy. Roscoe, Bullwhip, um,
A-Track.
not sure. No, I'm just kidding. I know there's Doug, and I know there's Jonzo, and I know there's other Matt. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know there's a Doug. I know
Yep.
there's a Jonzo.
Yep.
And I know there's this other guy that looks like Matt. Like he would be Matt, but he's not Matt.
That's right. Yeah, he's the one that looks like Matt Stewart from Do Go On, or what you
What's his
think
name?
Matt Stewart would look like. That's right. That's Barnes.
Barnes. Sorry, Barnes. You look like a Matt. I don't know what to tell you.
And that's generally a good thing. It's just like saying you look like royalty, because us Matts are a very proud race.
Or just like he looks like his parents would have named him an average white dude name.
Hey, now.
But sure. Royalty. Yeah.
Hey, Matts are special. That's why there's roughly about 7 billion of us.
In all the different languages, too.
Yeah, every language has a Matt, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that's awesome.
Funny part of that is Polish Matt is Mateusz.
Ooh,
Alright,
that's
fancy.
cool. I like the way that sounds. That's neat.
So, yeah. So, I believe, unless we got any more news, that we got a bit of announcement today.
We do have an announcement. So, if you did not notice that the beginning of the podcast was different, that's because you weren't paying attention or you skipped it. And now I'm judging you. No.
Judge.
So, today we are recording our last episode of our pandemic edition.
Yay.
Yeah, so this is officially our season 1 finale. And after this, we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus as we kind of figure out the final details of what season 2 is going to look like. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to the Goth and the Sloth podcast so that when we come back, it is right there in your feed. You don't got to look for us. We'll just be like right there being like, yo, what's up? We're back.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been about a year of a podcast. And
Yeah.
Matt, what are your thoughts on our 1 year of pandemic and social unrest coverage?
You know what? A lot of info I don't think I would have looked up on my own, so that's always nice.
That's good.
So some scary info, but also some good info, on like how the vaccines work. The fact that we got a vaccine, because we had a whole episode that was dedicated to the fact like we're not gonna get a vaccine.
Yeah,
then-
we're gonna die.
Yeah, we were a little bit wrong there, but that's okay.
I'm happy to be wrong about that, to be
Yeah, that's
honest.
a good one. Yeah. And then, doing some of our history, looking at stuff and new things, also kind of proves we're not too different, but also at the same time, we're a lot dumber than we used to be somehow.
Oh no.
Or at least we don't learn from our past at all. We just kind of, keep doing the dumb things.
I think we knew that at the beginning too, but I guess now we've just been proven right.
Yep. So how do you feel about 1 year covering a pandemic?
It's depressing as fuck, yo. Like,
It's a little bit why
I-
we're shifting gears.
yeah, like, I mean, like you mentioned, we don't learn anything
Yeah.
as a species. I mean, I definitely learned a lot. I did enjoy learning the scientific ins and outs of, how the mRNA vaccine works and spiky proteins, but and I did enjoy learning more and bringing more visibility to marginalized groups and how basically everything affects marginalized groups
Yeah.
more uh, drastically than the majority. So I liked talking about that and bringing attention to that. I hate that there's almost always something to talk about as far as police shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that sucks. But it was very eye opening to see the world respond to the murder of George Floyd. I definitely think that we're in a different, as far as civil rights goes, we're in like a post George Floyd era.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I learned a lot. I definitely enjoyed having a reason to keep up to date on this stuff. I would have been up to
Yeah.
date on it anyway, but it was nice to talk about it, to help process some of the stuff I was reading. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but god dang, that's been a depressing year.
It has been. Oh, one thing I kind of like now too is people that don't know or pay attention that I have a podcast or we have podcasts about COVID will try and school me on COVID numbers and and I'm like, well, actually, every week I take an hour deep dive in on what's going
Yeah, it's
on.
like we know what the numbers are saying. Like whatever it is, whatever the Fox News talking point was, not gonna phase me right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, so was there a favorite topic that we covered over this last year?
Oh, that's a tough one. Um, I think my favorite topic that we covered, it would have to be a category of topics
Okay.
that we covered, and I really enjoyed covering the how the pandemic impacted Native communities and the homeless,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that um, those are really, really important topics that often get overlooked in other podcasts that I listen to, and obviously the news at
Oh
large.
yeah.
It's like one sentence of, oh yeah, the Navajo Nation is suffering. Anyway, it's like, come
Anyways,
on.
yeah.
So those were my favorites from season one.
Nice.
What about you?
Um, I think the 1918 episode we did that was pretty interesting and eye opening.
History.
Yeah, that was fun to learn a lot about that. Um, I think also some of the right after George Floyd ones are some of my favorite episodes too. Of really getting your perspective on things.
Yeah, yeah, I don't remember those very well. I almost feel like I somehow blocked out some of that year, that time of the year. But I do remember being very raw and honest about how I felt about things. So I hope that was good.
Yeah, it's always good because
That's good. I like knowing that.
but yeah, no, it's good to get the a lot of different perspective. Not only from a state that's completely different than Colorado, but also you have a completely different upbringing than me, like completely
Mm.
different uh, path through life. So it's good to
Oh
get.
my gosh. Yeah. Very, very different. Not like both ends of the spectrum different,
No,
just very far apart on the spectrum. So yeah, that's good to learn your perspective as well and what you've been hearing. Well, you
yeah,
know.
'Cause, yeah, that's what I found kind of interesting learning a lot through this too. Is everyone I know in my general life circle and friends and stuff, most of them all went to high school in Colorado. And I think what state you go to high school in really affects a lot of not only your perspective, but like, yeah, how you're taught. 'Cause I assumed everyone was taught the same level of everything, and it's not so much.
Not so much. Yeah, I would even say, like, it depends on what county. I learned
That could
that,
be, yeah.
like, even within the state, but states definitely as well. Like, I learned that education is not standardized in any way, shape, or form, despite attempts to do so.
Yeah.
Just going to college and talking to other people that also went to high school in Florida, and it's like, you you did what? You you talked about the history of swimming? Whoa. Like, it's just really interesting. But you're right, like out west, um, it sounds like in high school you learn more about the conquest out west and
Yeah.
manifest destiny and like how people got out there. And in the South, it's like one sentence in the history book: people moved west. Like, oh, cool.
The liberals
And
can't.
that's it.
The liberals will birthed out of Satan and put on to California.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and then there was a lot of like Confederate apologist stuff after that.
Yeah, we didn't get any of that. It was definitely they were all bad guys.
Oh boy. Yeah, it is really cool to get different perspectives from different states and different upbringings. So yeah, I think that's been a really neat aspect of the podcast.
What's a fact or a topic or anything that you found the most shocking over this year?
Um, I think what was most shocking to me, and now it probably sounds like old hat, but it was pretty shocking to me how many people would totally buy into the pandemic being fake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought, like, oh, haha, like, it's gonna be the same group as the, like, anti-vaxxers. And instead, it's like half the nation.
Yeah.
Not really, it's like a third. But still, there's a lot of people.
It's a very loud third.
Very loud, yes. What shocked you?
Um, that was one for sure, especially like if way in the beginning, where they're having their protests. Remember that? That was cute.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Although those protests were the like trial run for what ended up being the January 6th insurrection.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. You can draw a direct line from that.
oh man. Like I said, it's been a depressing news cycle for a year.
I was also very shocked, just the general, the fact that we had to add the civil unrest part, like how quickly that popped up and how much it has already changed things. There's still a lot more changing left to do, but yeah, like how big that became, like that came just spiraling out of left field.
Totally. Do you think that there still would have been a like breaking point of civil unrest if George Floyd hadn't been murdered on camera?
Yes. I don't know what it would have been, but I think more than anything, part of what lit the candle on this newest round is the pandemic in general. It added an extra level of stress and heightened awareness, and then you add your daily racism and police brutality, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm done. We're burning it down."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I think there would have been at some point, yeah, it could have been Elijah McClain, Could have been the tick off. It could have been Breonna Taylor.
I mean, Breonna Taylor was before George Floyd,
That's true.
but I get what you're saying. Like, it it was it was inevitable
Mm-hmm.
because so many people were so tapped into the news and videos online
Yep.
that it does feel like more people saw that video than would have in a normal year.
Yeah.
And then everyone got real mad.
Just a bit.
Rightfully so.
Yes. Oh yeah. So yeah, that was that was kind of shocking and kind of interesting how that popped up out of nowhere. And then the random levels of up and downs of the numbers since we went over them every week, it just like
Oh, yeah.
it would just like we thought we were gonna spin this whole podcast down last summer, and then
Haha, surprise.
and then you ended up getting surgery during like one of the most dangerous times, and
I
then we
know.
came back and it was
Yeah.
just out of control once again.
Yeah, it really did just like get nuts right around before Thanksgiving, and then everyone was like, fuck it, I'm going to parties
Yep.
and traveling, and then so many people died over the holidays. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, and really, I think another point that I want to bring up, especially because, this is the last episode of the season, is that we now know that COVID is not temporary.
Yeah.
Like, this is something we're going to be dealing with, like the flu,
Yeah.
ongoing for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
So we can't really have a podcast about the human cold, but worse.
At least that
Like,
doesn't either get really old over time because there's only going to be so much
yeah, I mean,
information.
at this point, it's just a constant flow of this is just how life is going to be moving on. Eventually, yes, we'll reach herd immunity, hopefully. And then, yeah, everybody get their booster shot every year. And,
Yeah.
hopefully the neurological symptoms aren't too bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is just our life now.
It is. I mean, it's a SARS variant, as we've discussed multiple times before, and SARS has been around for very, very long time. And so it's just going to continue being a thing. So, yeah, it's basically, if the podcast was just like, so today in air.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So I'm looking forward at some point. I'm thinking this year. I'm going to be optimistic. The WHO will declare the pandemic part of it over. So,
I'm hoping so. I mean, I don't have a lot of hope for it being this year. I mean, Europe is way behind on vaccines, which is a whole other thing.
yeah,
But we need to get way more people vaccinated globally to get out of this thing. But I do think that we have hope for getting 70% of the U.S.
yeah,
vaccinated within this year. So we'll see.
yeah. We'll see where that goes from there. Let's see
Yes.
if we got anything else to reminisce about over this last year.
I mean, we have to reminisce about our fashion choices for the last year and being able to wear yoga pants every day. And nobody can say shit.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. I don't want to go back.
Actually, the reality kind of set over me because a couple friends they're getting their second shot almost the same time as me, so we'll be, at the going out level at the same time we're planning stuff. I was like, wait, that's going to require jeans.
Right. We're going to
Wait a
actually have to have a
second.
wardrobe for going out again.
Because I get away with my lazy pants even at the shows because I'm wearing my onesie underneath it and it's quick stage change. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I haven't really needed to like wear jeans outside of when I purchased my car, when I went car shopping.
That's awesome. Yeah, even when I like, obviously when I'm teaching class, I'm wearing workout stuff, and when I'm at the bar, I'm wearing either like tights or yoga pants that are easy to run around in, tennis shoes, obviously.
Hmm.
Like, so yeah. I don't know.
It's
I just
it's
I'm not ready for like actually having to look good.
oh, but you
Not
always look
ready.
good.
What'd you say?
But you always look good.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, that was a weird time for it to glitch.
That was a weird time for it to glitch. That's been
We
an
should leave that awkward pause in.
right. We should just that
Like
that's
you can
been
feel awkward along with
yeah
us.
yeah that's been part of the new experience is the technical difficulties of doing a podcast from a country apart.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what is going on. I do know that like I don't know. The internet's been weird here for about like 3 months now.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I,
Well,
I probably because the whole damn world is using
yep.
it.
There is one pipe. Uh, Not to get too into the technical stuff because I know all those things, but cable internet does have like it will slow down the more people that are using it, especially in apartments because
Mm,
it's only one pipe that goes out of your apartment complex and my apartment complex for the cable.
mm.
So if everyone's deciding right now that they're all gonna stream The Crown at the same time, you might see some lag.
Yeah, and like more and more people have been moving in here,
Ah,
so that probably explains it.
could be. But yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not
we
very
just
happy
in
about it.
general learning about doing podcasting. So remember our first episode, you had to do a lot more editing because you somehow bled completely through my headphones into my mic.
Yeah, and we still do from time to
Yeah,
time, but I still haven't figured out why.
I don't know.
But I usually just leave it in. Sorry. One day we'll be like a super popular podcast and we can afford an editor.
There we go.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, so that's been kind of fun. So yeah, how do you feel about doing a podcast for the first time for a year?
Oh, I love podcasting. I think it's
Do you
awesome.
feel
I
accomplished?
don't.
Do you
What?
feel accomplished?
Yes,
All right.
I do. Yeah, I just feel like I I don't know. I don't talk a lot, but I can talk on here, so I can kind of like share my thoughts about stuff that I don't typically get to talk about, which I really like. So yeah, it's been a year. We're fucking podcasters,
Yeah.
man. That's like what we are. We're cool podcast people. So take that, listeners that make us official podcast
Right.
people. Oh God. Yeah. I think it's pretty rad,
Yeah.
and I think that we are one like two people of billions that started
Oh
podcasts in
yeah.
the last year.
I'm sure I mentioned this at some point during it, but yeah, Doug and my band decided to get like an interface for his computer and like a podcasting mic, and it took like 3 or 4 months to come in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did mention that. Yeah, it's podcasting time. 2020 was like, what are you doing? Nothing? Why don't you talk into a microphone?
That's one thing I kind of find myself looking back on too, just in life in general, of like how quaint and sort of fun-ish the initial quarantine was. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, I'm going to make bread. I'm going to do this. And remember, there's like no traffic. And
Oh yeah, everybody was inside.
yeah. And then now, even though it really hasn't eased restrictions that much more, it's just not there anymore. Like everyone's just fed up completely.
Yeah, everybody, like, people are acting like they're vaccinated even though they aren't,
Yeah.
which is not good. So just get vaccinated, all right? Like, I know we're all over it. Just get vaccinated.
But yeah, it's just like thinking, being in traffic the other day is like, I remember like it was a big deal going to my parents after a few months, and like there was no traffic because everyone's like, no, stay inside and don't, it was the closest we've been to a full lockdown, which this country did not ever go into a full lockdown, but
No, it did not. But there was that
there
moment,
was
you're
a
right, there
time.
was that moment where everybody was taking it pretty seriously, and it was pretty quiet out there.
Yeah.
There's that one iconic picture in Denver that guy took in the middle of the road when it was foggy downtown.
Oh yeah.
It's like all the red lights and it's empty
Yeah.
downtown Denver in the morning. Yeah, that was eerie.
It was. It. Yeah, I don't know, but that's also sort of the scarier time too, because remembering that that's also when the grocery stores were oddly like destroyed because everyone panicked, and that was a creepy
Yeah,
feeling going through the grocery stores.
it was very apocalyptic
Yeah.
early on. And now we're like, apocalypse or schmocalypse. Hand me some beer or tequila or
Yeah.
something.
So yeah, I think one of the biggest things that's going to change. Uh, well, actually, here we'll ask it this way: what do you think this pandemic has changed in our day to days lives, like forever?
I think the main thing is, and I hope this answers your question. I think the main thing that this pandemic will change or has changed is how people work together, like
Mm-hmm.
how coworkers view each other and how managers view their employees, because it's like more holistic now.
Yeah.
Like people kind of see you as a full human and not just a work unit. Some places obviously still see you as a work
Yeah.
unit, but like I just feel like more people this year have been able to look at each other and kind of just be like, yeah, it's a hard day. It's okay to have a bad day, like instead of like get to work, ma,
Yeah.
you know. And I hope that sticks around because I think it's a healthier work environment.
I mean, a shared
So,
trauma will do that.
yeah,
we all
indeed.
we all had the exact same, not the exact same experience, but we all had the same thing. We all like this wasn't like 9/11 where people experienced it on different levels depending on how close you were to New York or whatever. This was like
Hmm.
everyone had the same experience. And
Yeah,
I,
it's interesting.
yeah, that is the
What about
impact.
you? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think this is sort of along the same lines too. Is this pushed the world forward in work from home, probably 5 or 6 years ahead of where we would have been if there wasn't a pandemic. I think it
Hmm.
really that was gonna come eventually, anyways. But this just like
Hmm.
just turned that up to 11 just real fast,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I definitely agree.
I think that will continue. Like I don't think people will want to go back into a normal office. And I think the pandemic part of it also killed open space or open plan work
Oh
environments.
yeah,
Because if you're just like desk to desk with someone else who's just right across the road from you, and you're just raw dogging their breath all day, I don't think anyone wants to do that anymore.
yeah. No, that does not sound delightful in any way, shape, or form. I value my privacy and my airspace.
So this may bring a return to some cubicles, although I think that's for the best. Um, Hopefully the 90s style cubicles, like the big ones that were actually almost offices.
They were almost offices. I don't know, like, I mean, I know what happened to them, productivity, blah, 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 but yeah. It's not so bad to have a giant cubicle. Never thought I would say that.
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny to see like stuff like Drew Carey, like the Drew Carey show, or even like Fight Club or Office Space where they're railing against the cubicle, and you're like, you don't
Yeah.
even know how good you have it, man. Wait till you get to open floor plans or the
Yeah.
cubicle walls
Oof.
that don't even go above your head while you're sitting.
Yeah. No, I do not want to be seen all the time. Yeah. Ooh, good point. Good points.
But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to want to go back in general, and I think this really pushed that down the road of business is going to reevaluate their work from home policies a lot more.
Yeah.
I know they had us fill out a survey, my office did, this week about like if you're planning to get vaccinated or if you're vaccinated or all that. And it's not shared, so it's all, within HIPAA. It's just getting a sense of where everyone's at. And they've also done many surveys about coming back to the office. And so we'll see how that looks and where it's at. I'm hoping for a hybrid model. I have to be in like once or twice a week or something like that. But we'll see. But yeah, this really, I think, just picked that up to get people to work from home and offices that were refusing to do it to like get over themselves and just do it. Which my
Yeah.
office is definitely one of those. Not my specific office, but my company, because law
Yeah.
firms are
Right.
always they're just old hat. They just don't want to change how they do the things. So
Yep.
this made it so all the old stodgy partners at the top have to be like, "Now you got to work from home, bro." Like, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the 21st century.
Please enjoy your palatial estate all day now instead of just a few hours.
Gosh. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
But that night
And
also I see the death of the handshake,
yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah. I could, well, I don't
I don't
know.
think so.
Like, I agree. But I also know that there are enough people in power with money that don't care about the pandemic and will perpetuate handshakes. So, like, and then they set the culture for their companies because they're the owner, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, maybe, but I
Yeah.
do see, like, when you're meeting people out in public and, like, you're meeting a friend's friend or whatever, you're probably not going to shake hands.
Let's get to the bowing
Oh,
when you
yeah,
meet
I
somebody,
like that.
or just a curtsy.
If someone can just curtsy to me anytime, I'm not saying I won't, like, love it. I'm saying that I will remember you for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That person curtsied to me. Hey.
Yeah.
um. Oh, I was just gonna say along those lines. I do you remember hugs?
Vaguely.
I barely remember hugs.
I mean,
And like, I do think that hugs, like, I can't wait to hug someone that's not my partner. But like, at the same time, that's a goddamn privilege. Like,
yeah.
I'm not just giving out hugs willy nilly, like free hugs, dude, at Dragon Con.
No,
Like,
that guy's gone.
I, yeah, no, fuck that. I don't know you. You don't get this precious, precious thing that I hold when in my arms, which is a hug. But all my homies, yeah,
Yeah.
y'all get hugs.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I don't hand out a lot in general. I'm always kind of a standoffish person in general, but I think I'm sort of the opposite for me, at least for friends that may not have hugged before. I might,
Mm.
dull them out a bit more to miss
Yeah,
that
I mean, to
communication.
me, it's like if I've hugged you before, you're getting hugs. If I've never touched you before, I'm never going to touch you again. That's basically where we're at.
I'll see, but yeah, we're on. There's the different planes right there, though, too. Because for dudes, going in for the hug, it's a little different.
Oh,
So
totally. Yeah, I'm not denying that at all. Like, so this is definitely gonna look different for everyone. For me personally, that's what it would look like. And I think dudes should hug all the time. Honestly, I think that because of hug scarcity over the last year, there should be like dude hug overload. Like, dudes should just be like hugging bros all over the place. Like, not, and I'm not talking the like go in and slap them real hard on the back 3 times, like you're trying to get him to choke up a bean or something. I mean, like, I'm gonna embrace you, dude, and we're gonna sit here and embrace and like feel a hug. Like, that should be happening. I think I'm just gonna go out there and go out on a limb and say I am pro bro hugs once everyone's vaccinated.
You don't want the handshake hug where you pull it in, so you make sure you have the hands blocking the making sure there's a no homo area buffer.
Those should be illegal. Those hugs should be illegal. 100%. Like, dick to dick hugs. Only dick to dick hugs. Like, that's what we're going for. Get rid of the homophobia. Like, just we gotta share some physical affection with our friends. The
The
end.
end.
Like, if I see you and your bandmates not doing real hugs, I'll know what's up. I'll know what's up. They don't really love each other.
We do, just not John. I mean, we totally, yeah, we're all totally even, and the bass player counts the same level as the rest of the band.
What? Oh yeah, that's right. Jonzo looks like Barnes.
Yes.
Because when you said bass player, I was like, oh, you mean that Barnes guy? Oh man, I don't know. I'll never get your band member straight. I'm sorry. Um, so leave your bass player alone. That's not nice.
It's always funny how bass players think they're part of the band.
That we could say the same thing about drummers. All right.
Hey, the drummers are they when they show up and they're sober, they are very important to the band. But only when they do those two things.
Yeah, and when they don't show up and they're not sober or there's a
There
machine.
is.
It's literally called a drum machine that can replace them.
True. Well, a bass player can get replaced by just a really loud mini fridge in the corner. It just picks up the low end.
Oh my god.
We're working on a skit that we might do for YouTube about replacing John with a fridge, and then like
YouTube,
yeah, because it's gonna be long.
not
It's gonna
TikTok.
be longer unless we do a multi-part TikTok.
Oh, because everyone on TikTok's gonna go to your YouTube. All right. Okay.
This is gonna be like a whole thing because the fridge will get like really famous, and
Oh my god.
it'll be a whole
no,
bit.
do your thing. You're gonna know better than me for sure. I was just picking on you
I
for
know.
not doing a TikTok.
Hey, we just put out a new TikTok.
I know. I follow your page. I get your TikToks.
But I don't know. Well, not to get too much into TikTok right now, but I just never follow anyone that's like, watch this for part 2. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
That's hilarious. I do. I follow people. I like unless they're not interesting, but in general, like, I've curated my For You page that
See,
I like almost everything that comes up.
I'm still working on that, so gotta get that.
Well, you're not
curated.
going to get there if you don't start going to people's pages and looking at
I
stuff.
know it's true. So,
And this has been your TikTok educational
there you go.
hour.
So, we've been doing our distractions for over a year now. So instead of just doing another distractions section of the show, what has been your favorite distraction over this whole pandemic?
I think my favorite my favorite distraction, if like, let's call it my saving grace for staying sane over the pandemic, has definitely been horror movies.
Yeah.
and like discovering some new stuff, watching a lot of indie, catching up on old ghost stories, horror series like rewatching The Haunting of Hill House and then watching The Haunting of Bly Manor. Just those stories really kind of got me through all of this. So shout out to horror
Yeah.
movies. What about you? I have a guess, but I'm gonna let you go first.
It's probably going to be Lego. That's been a great one.
Yeah, okay, I was right.
Just picking up an incredibly expensive hobby is always a good thing to do.
I mean, that sounds like the all-American COVID like coping mechanism. It's expensive hobby.
Besides that, yeah, being able to get to some stuff because I wasn't able to do my normal new movies every Friday and go out to the movies and see something even if I don't know what it is, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So I've been able to get to stuff I've been putting off, and I've burned through a lot of franchises and catching up on a lot. Of course, I did the Fast and Furious watch through. Just finished The Conjuring, and now I'm starting the Insidious movies.
Yeah.
So
I think the Insidious franchise, like the Insidious movies, are way better than The Conjuring. Way better.
it's it was good, but it was very early James Wan.
Oh,
Like
totally. I
it's
mean,
very
yeah.
much
Duh.
related to Saw, or I see a lot of dead silence in Insidious, like how he
Mm-hmm.
lights his monsters and how much physical effects he uses.
Mm-hmm. It is. It totally is.
But it's really interesting to see that compared to just seeing The Conjuring, where that one's his new style of much more big and, you know,
Stupid.
there you go.
I
Thinking of
like
a better word, but
stop giving people more money when they make good movies. I think it's you ruin
yeah.
them. You ruin them.
No, there was
Anyway, that's just
no,
my
there's a
opinion.
real thing. Not to get too into movies bogged down, we always do that. But anyways, a lot of people say the reason why Deadpool was so good was because they really limited the budget. They were like, "We're not giving you a lot of money for this. This is just going to be a movie we're going to kick out and no one cares about. So just the fans keep bitching at us. Just here's the minimal amount of money, make a thing." And they were able to really make something great out of that. So.
Hell yeah.
And they even, I mean, depending on people's opinion, the second one is just as good, I think. And that one,
Oh yeah, I really like the
they
second one.
limited themselves. They're like, we don't want a bigger budget. We want, the same budget.
Smart
So
people.
good stuff there. But yeah, I think Legos was a big one. And yeah, getting to some stuff I haven't done a lot of. I've gotten back into video games again and things like that. So good stuff.
Good.
So we're gonna usually end this with our hermit level, but we're gonna do something a little different for the season finale, and that is I don't want to say your favorite hermit level, but what are some memorable moments in your hermitness that you can remember?
Oh my gosh. There's one moment I remember very well. This is back when Vanna was still here, my dog was still
Hmm.
here, and it was, pandemic time, hiding from everybody, not really, afraid of the world. And then there was that day that I was walking her and that lady in a car like just stopped and was like telling me all about her life because we were lonely. Everybody was just lonely. You're like, "Oh my God, a person." Like both, a person, but also, can we talk for a moment? Like that was definitely one of the like early memorable hermit
Yeah.
situations.
Uh,
So do you have any memorable moments for you?
well, it got a little creepy and dark when I did get my car stolen the second time, and I was completely locked down. Like, didn't even go to the grocery store. Like, I was full on just literal hermit.
You were. I'm telling you, it was a 10. I think you were 10 out of 10, hermit.
That was when it got a bit bleak and dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. I think, honestly, what, like, trying to think of one of the higher weeks for
Hmm.
me in hermitage are honestly some of the best weeks. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't really talked to anyone in a week, or I have, all I did was like when the studio was closed, like all I did was like run inside Kroger real fast and like grab a bunch of stuff for the next 2 weeks and go back home. Like
Hmm.
that was pretty rad. I don't recommend it to everyone. No.
It yeah, I go in ebbs and flows. Sometimes I really enjoy it, but then sometimes you're like, I haven't seen anybody at all, and
That's what your TV's for.
or like I remember my grandpa telling me this story after my grandma died, and it just like this is well before COVID, like years and years ago. But he was just saying like, yeah, one day I kind of realized I haven't said words out loud in like 3 days.
Ah, yeah, that's
Because he was
real.
like super independent, but yeah, he was living by himself and just like realized like I haven't said words out loud. And yeah, if my job wasn't being on the phone helping people, that would be real. Like that would just be like that is the only people I talk to.
Totally. Yeah, I started talking to my cat just to make sure I could still
Yeah,
talk.
you should always talk to your cat. They're always paying attention. They may
It's true.
not
I'm
care.
being mauled by my cat right now.
So yeah, any other memories or anything else you want to bring up?
Not really, just like I just appreciate everyone that has tuned in so far, and I hope that in season 2 we can keep going and grow our following and have some more fun.
Absolutely. You can edit this out if you want, but we haven't decided what we're doing next. But it is going to be a bit of a shift, and I think in a good way. But it's no, I don't think we're really going to go, um, you know, factual as much. I don't think, or
No, we're not going to be doing any like news
yeah,
reporting sort of stuff. So tune in to find out exactly where we land, but it is going to be
yeah.
different.
But yeah, be ready for that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be some real cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, where can people find us if they want to bug us and ask us, even though we won't answer, what we're going to be doing on our next season?
Wow, that's so enticing. Well, you can find me at Luna underscore Minui at Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can find us at Goth and Sloth on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us anytime at gothandsloth@gmail.com. And Matt, where can the good people find you?
I'm Wizard underscore Matt on the Twitters and Wizard Cosplay on the Instagram. My band is Leonardo Leonardo. We are Leonardo Leonardo Band on Facebook and SoundCloud and Teespring, where you can buy shirts. And we got our TikTok going. It's also Leonardo Leonardo Band there as well. And my channel, or my YouTube channel, is Matt the Pharaoh Wizard. I'm going to have a new video up that I've worked really hard on coming this Thursday, all about Cable, the X-Men character, and it's really cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for listening to our first ever season of a podcast.
Yes.
The Goth and the Sloth will be back. And in the meantime, please wash your hands.
And yeah, for the last damn time, wear your mask.